This is the wrong ship, you say. This is a long story, I reply. And it goes like this. I've been building this Galleon. Can't even remember what it's called. I'm sure it's Revel, glow in the dark pirate ship. It's supposed to be 1/72nd, but let's be generous and call it a mistake. I believe it's a reissue of a model of Captain Hook's ship from something like the 50s. Anyway, I've been building it. This is undercoated, obviously it's not finished. And my little son, Mini Meltdown, loves it and keeps wanting to play with it, and all the bits are breaking off, and I'm halfway through it. And I'm halfway through a film, so I feel I need to pursue it further. So he just thinks it's fantastic. So I said I'll buy him a Galleon of his own, because for some reason he's into Galleons. So I bought that one. The interesting thing about that one is that I've bought one already, but I want to do a film about it. I don't want to do it, you know, all the way through without interference. So I've bought a second one that I can do sort of rapidly and sloppily, and he'll just have fun. So we're on this Pirates of the Caribbean Black Pearl, 112 parts, for 10 plus it says, you know, that's the making, he'll be alright with it, and 1 to 150 scale. There's a bit of it because we've got to move on rapidly. Here's the map, the diagram of the parts. I mean, you can imagine what they're like, plus some other bits. It's one of those, it's in black plastic because, you know, it's spooky, and then you get some gold bits and some reddy brown bits. I am not bothered by that, and Mini Meltdown likes a bit of colour, so instead we're going to have just like a non occult version, so just a Galleon that's a bit rough and owned by some rough and ready pirates. Here's our first step. It's clipped together. I hope to goodness the clip together qualities are, you know, accurate. So here we are with the lower part of the hull, the main inner deck with cannons, and then the top deck. That's where we're up to. He's in a rush, he wants it by the end of the week. We'll see what we can do. I've painted the upper sides of the hull. I'll get those in a second. There they are. He's a fan of red and green, so red and green it is, but he went wild for the gold bits, so I had to paint them on. So like I say, rough and ready, a lot of weathering, damage and so on, and he really wants me to get on with it, so pardon me while I move off to put this all together. And this is it under slightly awkward light. Let's play with this. I want to slightly exaggerate the shadow, just to pick out some of the detail on the ship itself. The rail around the top is remarkably well moulded, and it's very fine, and I can't imagine kids of the age who are going to be impressed by the promotion of this model being that careful about such fiddly detail. But there we go. Anyway, I have done some of the deck. Not all, but some. There's a lot going on up this end. I was slightly concerned about how the wheel is done. I would have thought it had been the other way round. The cannons, all but two, popped into place quite happily. Most of the other stuff's popped in alright, But I have to say, because to kind of click and fit, these things have to be tight. As you're squeezing one piece in, other pieces pop out again. That's one of the drawbacks of this kind of thing. But I've only done one side, but I have done... Whoop. Oh, it's going to be silly there and flip it over, but of course it's in shadow. I have done those ends, and I do like this. I'm sure somebody should do a plastic model kit of a slice through a Galleon. I know some of the wooden folks do. Wonder if I'll ever get round to one of those. Anyway, that's it so far. It's fun. It's very, very well moulded, crafted, and it's going together all right. We're back in the workshop and there's quite a good light. You might be able to see there's quite a good gap as well. That one doesn't want to squeeze in any further, being clipped together. So I think a bit of pressure and a bit of glue will do. Also, the kind of window bay, intentionally kind of mucky surface, as I keep saying. But I've got this section red, then going to green, which I like, but then I've done that red at the back, kind of alternating, which I've only ever seen once. It might be too much. But then there's red and green here, so which do I change? Do I turn that to red? That'll be too much there. Not enough alternation there. So I'll leave it for the minute and change my mind another day. But time for gluing. Well, we got some of the ratlins on. That was a tricky situation. I wouldn't say they were clip-on at all, and there's been some very odd outcomes. Basically they don't fit, but they look alright. For that flat moulded thing, they do look okay. Yeah, I'll let them off, sort of thing, but still prefer that lovely flexible stuff. But I'm now at the position where I think I can safely say this is a really good model. If you like Galleons, this will, this will do the job. I wish I'd done it better. I do wish I had started off with a more positive attitude, or perhaps a more or a less piratical attitude. That's what I mean. But anyway, it's going all right. I got to poke through some areas where there's a little bit of flash. It's not paint. The paint isn't that thick. See that there? I think a pin will see to that, mostly. And then I'm going to paint the sails. Right, things are coming along rapidly. The spars that weren't on are now on, and they've got their sails attached. I think all the sails are on. Compared to the other recent parts, getting the sails on was a dream. It was absolutely wonderful, and it's a great way to do it. Actually, I'm very impressed. What have I done with the sails? I've wanted them to look like paintings from the 16 and 1700s in particular, on into the 18s and the early 1900s, but I want each one to have an individual quality. You're thinking, yeah, there's a big red one in the background. Yeah, we'll get round to that. The big red one is nowhere near complete because my lovely little son, Mr. Mini Meltdown, has got an obsession with Norway based on the fact that he loves the song Norwegian Wood. I've got to paint the Norwegian coat of arms on there, which thankfully is just a golden lion rampant holding an axe, which should be fun to do. I'm stuck with that. It just looks a bit red really, doesn't it? Never mind. Anyway, apart from that, it's moving along very nicely. We've only got, I think, 6 bits to put on, if I'm not mistaken. Got to put the sort of health and safety rails at the back of the crow's nests platform, and then got to put some golden lanterns on at the back, and that's it. I really like this model. If I'd realised how good it was, I'd have done it better. But I'm actually fairly impressed anyway. Not with myself so much as obviously the model. The model is lending itself to success. And I am pleased with the way it's coming out. So that's alright. So I'll give it to him, he'll break it in 4 seconds, and then I will turn it into a model of a wreck. So this is good practice for models to come, because I've got a couple of Galleons lying in wait. And, well, we ain't got much more to do. I'm not going to do the rope work. I think I said that earlier, because you'll just get in a tangle with it. It's good, I like it. Alright, let's have a look. I've done the back of the sails as well. I want to see how they've come out. That's alright. A lot of those paintings I was talking about, you do get views from the rear quite a lot, because the rears are often ornate. I just want to check that kind of looks like them. There we go. That is coming along. Nice one. Right, so the lad wants his pirate galleon to be Norwegian because he loves Norway, and he loves Norway because he loves the song Norwegian Wood. So I've painted the Norwegian coat of arms very simply on that sail. I meant to put a bit of weathering on that sail, and then he wanted that version of their flag on the top, and that's because we've got some stickers, and these are the last ones. You get a little set like that, and he's been sticking them all over buses basically because they're all going to Norway. So anyway, we've got some of the pirate flags, the Norwegian flag, and the Norwegian coat of arms, which is a lion rampant holding an axe. Now the axe is usually silver, the blade, but I've done it gold because he wants it that way. Who can argue with a 3.5-year-old or thereabouts? One more flag to put on because it should have gone there, and we're done. Oh, I'm not going to put the lanterns on at the back. He'll have them off in seconds. So I'll save them up until he's gone off this model and I am restoring it or turning it into a wreck, and I'll put the lanterns on. So that's the plan. One more flag to go and we're done. As for the Norwegian coat of arms, I've tried to match it to around about the late 1600s, early 17s. Because heraldry changed a lot, and you often get books, or particularly on Google and crap like that, where they just have a single obligatory boil in the bag image, whereas heraldry changed a lot over time, and it also varied a little bit according to use. So you'll find heraldic images look very different when carved in wood to those carved in stone. Obviously because the material, the medium is different, but also very different, they vary over time, even just on parchment and so on in books. And it depends on what the image is being used for. So I've tried to get one that suits a sail and which suits a kind of fabric surface. So I've tried to get a little bit of texture on him. I can't get in there. I should have shown him before I put him on. So you will find different versions. You will find different styles. But this is the one I felt was appropriate to a sail around about the year 1700-ish. So hopefully nobody in Norway is offended. And that is a lovely model. I think we got the municipal lawnmower out today. Anyway, that is a lovely model. If I'd known it was going to be that good, as I said, I'd have done it better and got him something else. But anyway, there it is. A fine little thing. And by and large, I enjoyed doing it. Which I think I said, didn't I? I've bought myself another one, so I can do it. But then maybe, do I do that one smart, or do I do that one as like full-on pirate monstrosity? I don't know. It's one of the reasons it is fine is because it's not a joke model. You know, proportions are great and all of that. So there isn't anything actually piratey about it, apart from the flags. So what we have here is a slightly worn, lovely galleon. And that's fine. It seems to be working for it, so I'm not going to give myself a hard time over that. I'm not going to change a thing. But there it is. No rigging. He'll hang himself on that. And it's nice. It really is. If you're into ships and you don't mind them a little bit small, particularly if you're into galleons and you don't mind them a little bit small, then give it a go. I could get into making fleets, really, couldn't I? Don't want to diversify too much, but it is nice. Lovely little thing. I suppose if I'm doing it properly, I should have painted the bottom of the hull. But I was going for that kind of general mucky quality initially, so it's a little inaccurate in that respect. We went to the tall ships at Hartlepool recently. I wonder if I've got any footage that could add to this. Funny thing is, they were all very modern and straightforward, whereas we've been before and there's some really ancient looking, very glamorous ones. Got a funny feeling they're from a country towards the east of Europe that is not in favour at the moment. Made a nice T-34 tank though, didn't they? I have got footage of that earlier visit somewhere, but that'll take a time to find. It's on one of those little memory box things, porta brain as I call them. I'll find them one day and put them up, because there were some truly beautiful ships. Anyway, talking of which, just pop that sail off so we can see the deck a little bit more. Oops, flag's going. First casualty. So, nice one. Liking it. Yeah, I might have to go back and put a little bit of weathering on that coat of arms sail. It's just a bit too vivid. I wouldn't have done it myself, but he wanted it. And I'd have probably done it on one of the foresails, not that one slap bang in the middle. But anyway, that's what he wanted. I hope he likes it. Which only leaves me to say thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Something very different, and I'll be back again soon. Alright, at some point I'm going to have to sort that spar out, aren't I? And did you notice I haven't painted any gold around the forward facing windows? Oh, and there's probably a couple of other bits like that. Well, I've done it. It's been done for about 2 months now. The only thing he's damaged is that large square pirate flag at the back, which is waving the wrong way. Other than that, he's just kind of bobbed around with it, so I'm very impressed. Well done, Mini Meltdown. Anyway, as I said earlier, thanks for watching. See you again soon.